Sports Podcast. I am one half Anthony Carboni, and to my right is the other half Justin Vilche. 2 weeks it's been since we last dropped a pod. A lot has happened in the span of 2 weeks. Oh my goodness, the Toronto Maple Leafs fighting for that final division, first division spot, whatever. Florida right ahead of them. Tampa right behind them. Montreal and Ottawa chasing the playoffs for the first time since 2017 and 18 respectfully. But yeah, we're gonna definitely dive into the divisions and the conferences and the wild card races. That's for sure about today. But we gotta say what's up to the boy, Justin Vilche. What is going on?
Everything's good, bro. Leafs back in action tonight. You know, kind of, falling a bit right now, but that is okay. Things happen. Everything good, bro. Playoffs soon.
Less than a month.
So our soccer season, yeah, our soccer season started in a couple months. So that we gonna get the ball rolling. We gonna get the ball rolling with that one soon.
And
I
I kind of want
you
to.
already know.
We got to tell the people what the plan is for Habs Leafs. We talked about it off camera. It looks like him, myself, our producer Biddy, and another buddy of ours. We're probably gonna go to that game last minute. I, as a Habs fan, will love that. Them as Leafs fans will love that. We'll go at it. Maybe we'll go live for a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. But it'll be
Maybe,
that is definitely something.
but
That is something on the cards. We gotta go there. We gotta go watch it, especially the way the Habs are playing. And the way the Leafs are looking to try and win the division. Montreal looking to make playoffs. Currently in a playoff spot, which we will talk about. Very happy about that. First time in a long time, as Drake would say. All right. So,
whoa.
what?
Okay, little Drake reference. Okay, we start off the show strong. I bet.
We always start the show
I bet.
off. We always start the show off strong.
You
Okay.
already know.
Let's dive into the Toronto Maple Leafs as our first topic for the day. Since our last pod, the Leafs have won 1, 2, 3. They are 4-3 in their last 7 games since we, almost at 500 since we last recorded a podcast, just a few days, 2 days after the trade deadline. The game against Utah, they were in Utah. They were up 3-0. They blew a 3-0 lead and almost choked the game, but Marner won it in the shootout. They proceeded to lose 2 divisional matchups, one against the Panthers 3-2 on home ice, and then a potential first-round preview against the Senators. The Leafs lose 4-2 on home ice to the Sens, and I found this out that was the 5th game in a row the Senators had beat the Leafs, and it was a season sweep. So before I get into the next couple of games, I want to hear your opinion on, you calling the Sens frauds and last in the division, but they've beaten your Leafs in the last 5 meetings. Any response to Sens fans coming at you, or just coming at the Toronto Maple Leafs?
First of all, there's no Sens fans at all, so I haven't heard anything from Sens fans in general. Dude, and even if there are any Sens fans, dude, you can have this regular season matchup, bro. Again, I've said this in the past. Regular season does not matter come playoff time, and I absolutely pray that we play the Ottawa Senators in the first round because I know for a fact we would absolutely demolish them. The Senators are frauds. I still don't think they're a great team, and yeah, I predicted they would finish last. And honestly, I don't think I was totally wrong for my prediction at the start of the season. I thought the team wasn't great, and I still don't think they're great anyway. Yeah, sure, they might be good, and Dylan Cousins has really improved the team ever since he's been traded to there. Which the Sens play the Sabres tonight, so we'll see how Cousins plays tonight against his former squad. But yeah, no, dude. The Sens, again, the Sens don't scare me at all. Like, let's just be for real. Like, it's the Ottawa Senators. Like, what are we talking about?
And
Come on.
yeah, I mean, I could, man, I cannot stand Ottawa, and the fact that they beat the Leafs, man, it just intensifies that Battle of
Yeah.
Ontario for the playoffs significantly, as it seems to me that a lot of Sens fans are highly confident if they get Toronto round 1. So we'll dive more into like the Leafs' favorable matchups in a little bit, but I want to continue with the rest of their couple games that they've played. After that, big response on a team against Calgary, who are fighting for that last wildcard spot in the West. They go out and beat them on St. Pat's night 6-2 on home ice. Matthews, I think, got 2 goals. He, after all the talks of him being quiet, he put up a couple goals. The team was just buzzing. Wall was unstoppable. Uh,
It's good.
the
Yeah.
next the
We
next
always beat Calgary.
yeah, the next 2 games, tough matchup. Colorado on the Wednesday, and then back to back the next night they go to MSG and play the Rangers. Like 2-1 win against Colorado. give the referee a huge shout out, and I hope his paycheck was nice and fat for what he had to do, because
Yeah, yeah.
because it looked like that was an insane play. So I guess so.
Plan that out. Like, what are we talking
The
about,
Leafs,
bro?
the Leafs,
Like, you can't.
okay, the Leafs look to clear the puck. They clear the puck. All of a sudden, the referee like tries to go to like the other side of the ice, and he like dives on the puck, slowing the puck down. And then Steven Lorentz picks the puck up, and a fourth liner
Snipes.
just snipes like just sniped it. Like you couldn't even predict that to happen. And yeah, the Leafs beat a really good Colorado Avalanche team on home ice. The following day, traveling to MSG, second half of a back to back. I didn't give them a chance. They go out and beat the Rangers 4-3. Johnny Toronto, Johnny Hockey, John Tavares is
Yeah.
insane. He is hot as he can ever be right now. He scored 2 goals in that game. He was disgusting, and he has been. So he was playing really well, and the Leafs get the 4-3 W against the Rangers team, who are looking to make the playoffs, as I'm wearing on my hat here. And then, okay, the matchup that I really want to talk about this past Saturday against the Nashville Predators in Nashville. An emotional game for Ryan O'Reilly. A lot of Leafs fans coming at him for what he was saying. And they're like, we don't want
Good.
you. We don't want you. Especially Justin. They're like, screw you. We don't need you. Bunting, former Leaf, playing against the Predators. And heading into that game, what were your thoughts? Did you think it was like that should have been like that would be a Leafs win? Like what were your predictions before
Oh,
they dropped the puck?
um, I was thinking Leaf win, but I had a feeling this is going to be one of their usual trap games where they play lower competition and get absolutely destroyed, and that's exactly what happened.
Well,
They had a
look,
2 goal
look, look,
lead.
look at the first period. Talk about the first period.
Yeah. Okay, sure. We could talk about the first period. Yeah, sure. They went up 2-0. After that, bro, it was a completely different game. And this is exactly what happened against the San Jose Sharks a couple weeks ago. Your weekly trap game by the Toronto Maple Leafs, who just decided not to show up for 40 minutes. That's exactly what they did. And, they were winning 2-0. Marner scored the second goal. I forget who scored the first goal. Whatever. It didn't matter in the end. Michael Bunting scored for the Predators, which was like one of the most obvious things I've ever seen in my life. And it's like, dude, we got outplayed by a Nashville team who are not good. They're quite frankly not good, and
30th
two,
in
they
the
have
league.
nothing. Yeah, they have nothing to play for. They are, I assume, trying to lose because to get an overall pick, first overall pick. But dude, it was pretty embarrassing. And you referenced the Leafs Colorado game earlier, dude. We got outplayed again by a better opponent, and I'm so sick and tired of this. Yeah, sure, we got a lucky bounce and we won 2-1, but bro, it's unacceptable, and you cannot play like this, bro. This is now 2 times in a span of a couple weeks where we played the Colorado Avalanche and we got outplayed. And then the next night in MSG, sure, second night of back to back. But dude, we've seen teams do well second nights of back to backs. Sure, we got the win. Toronto came to show up. But bro, the third period, we got outplayed again. And how many times are we gonna get outplayed in the third period? Okay, sure, you could say the guys were tired, but bro, like we've been better than the New York Rangers. I get it's MSG on a second night of back to back. I understand, but bro, this is if we actually want to be a top team, we can. These excuses can't happen anymore. Okay, like we have to actually go out there and play a full 60 minutes. Good teams play full 60 minutes. If you can only play 40 good minutes, 50 good minutes, you're not going to win the game. We've already seen this multiple times this season. Okay, sure, you can get your lucky wins against the Avs because the refs, fall down on the ice by accident. Whatever. But that's not going to move the needle for me, okay? We actually got to be realistic, okay? Saturday, disappointment. Now, they play tonight against the Flyers. If they lose, I'm going to be even more disappointed because the Flyers are trash. Okay, let's just be for real. Okay,
Well,
this is a game.
would you consider this as a trap game for the Leafs? I mean,
This is what
in their home
Okay,
ice against
this
a bad team, this is a game that they should be winning.
on a Tuesday. Remember, Tuesday trap games from the Leafs. Yeah, sure. Last week was different. It was on a Wednesday. It was on a Saturday. But bro, this is your weekly trap game from the Leafs. Here we go. Konechny gonna have at least 2 points. Owen Tippett goal, and then boom, there you go. It's either gonna be a Flyers win or it's gonna be a hard fought Leaf win where the Leafs are gonna make it tough on themselves. It's just how it's gonna be. So they got to get a win tonight. They're somehow still battling for a first place in the Atlantic, which I don't really know how because we just get outplayed like every game. But yeah, I personally hope we win the division so that we play the Ottawa Senators in the first round because I would love to see the Ottawa Senators in the first round. But yeah, bro, like this is must-win territory now. Like if you don't win this game, then Leafs Nation on Twitter, it's gonna get feisty because
And
this is absolutely absurd.
yeah, so I was going to talk to you about that. Their next 5 games, they're hosting the Flyers, and then they go on a road trip. What road trip specifically? The California Road
Like,
Swing, everybody's favorite road trip. The trip that we want to go on next year
yeah,
and go
yeah, we
watch.
will be there.
We will
We
be
will be
in
there.
California next year for that.
We will
But
be in the Shark Tank.
yes.
Oh yes.
So
We will be in the-
10:30 start time for us Canadians over here on Thursday. Lucky with the 7 o'clock start time Saturday night in Canada against the Kings, who that is a game they are going to lose. The Kings are so disgusting on home ice. Oh my goodness, like that is a sleeper for a cup right there. And then the next back to back in Anaheim. So whew, these are going to be a couple tough games, honestly, for the Toronto Maple Leafs, man. I know tonight, I think they'll get the win tonight at home after a tough loss. They're playing the shitty Flyers. I understand that, but this California road swing, don't sleep on teams like the Sharks that beat you already this year. Don't sleep on the LA Kings just because they're second in their division or third in their division. They're a team that could compete for the Stanley Cup. And don't sleep on the young core of the Anaheim Ducks second half of a back-to-back. So, and then the next game after that, the game I'm going to against the Florida Panthers. So they've got a really good couple 5 games. So we're gonna see what this team's really made of heading into April, 3 weeks before the playoffs start. So currently second in the division, 2 points behind Florida with 1 game in hand. Do you think that the Maple Leafs, as we are recording this on March 25th, will they win the division?
I won't have an answer for you until after Sunday because I'm telling you right now, if they don't win these games on this California road trip, if they struggling, if they lose 2 out of 3, no, because I know for a fact they're gonna have to get these wins before that Florida swing because I know for a fact I think it's in 2 weeks. If they lose those Florida games against Florida and the Tampa Bay Lightning, they ain't winning the division. So if they lose these games in Cali, they ain't winning the division. But if they win these games this week, then sure, I can see them winning the division. But it's this week really all depends on whether or not they win the division or not.
And the second part of that question, if you were to pick their matchup, who would you rather play? Would you rather play Florida, Tampa, Ottawa, or it looks to like could be Montreal if they end up squeaking that first wildcard spot? What would be your more favorable matchup for the Maple Leafs?
100% Ottawa. 100% Ottawa. Dude, I don't care about no regular season, bro. We've talked about this off camera too. Like regular season doesn't matter come playoff time. The Ottawa Senators do not fear me. Okay, I will, bro. I'm telling you right now, give me the Ottawa Senators, bro. Like I already know we can beat Tampa. Okay, I don't want to see the Panthers. I don't want to see the Panthers at all. Like I'm trying to block them away from me, bro. Like I don't want to see them, bro. Just stay in your lane and I'll stay in my lane, bro. Bro, the Ottawa Senators, I'm trying to see, bro. I'm trying to see the Ottawa Senators, bro. I'm gonna try to pull up to Canadian Tire Center. Bro. Bro? Give me Ottawa, bro. I don't care, bro. Ottawa can sweep the series, dude. Come playoff time, Ottawa got no one. Come playoff time, bro. They got Giroux, who played in the playoffs like 4 or 5 years ago, bro. Brady Tkachuk's never been in the playoffs. Stu's never been in the playoffs. Halma,
Who?
please.
Well, I think if they play the Senators, I think we have to make a trip to Ottawa. No,
Why not?
I mean,
I'll be there.
it's
Wait,
mostly
dude,
gonna be Leafs fans anyway, and hopefully tickets are cheaper than what the hell Toronto's fucking.
95% Leaf fans in Ottawa in the Canadian Tire Center, dude. Why not go for a little road trip,
It's not
dude? Leafs Ottawa,
Ottawa's like 4 hours away. It's not that far.
not that far. Not that far.
Take 401, just fucking dart all the way down, and then we're there. And then and we just find a big hockey arena in the middle of nowhere because that's where the Senators play is the middle of nowhere in Ottawa. They don't even play downtown. They're not even good enough to play downtown. So they just ship them off somewhere in bumblefuck Ottawa.
So they're so irrelevant that they don't even play in the city. It's like, dude,
Yeah,
like
that's pretty unfortunate.
you go for yourself. Like, how do you just come up with this? Like, they're just an embarrassment. Like, honestly,
I think
like
about
who's Ottawa?
I think a Battle of Ontario would be amazing. If I'm the Leafs, I am avoiding Florida at all costs especially in the first round. Considering that right now Florida's not looking as good as they were, but you got to remember they are missing Kachuk. They are missing Ekblad. They're missing Marchand. Like they're not like a lot of
Yeah.
them aren't really healthy right now, but they're still win. They still pulled off a win on Sunday against the Penguins in the shootout after being down 3-1 in the third. So I'm trying to avoid them at all costs. I think a matchup against Tampa is too close to call. I think they're both evenly matched. And a first round matchup, especially if you're a team like the Leafs who have been getting into the playoffs consistently, you want an easy first round matchup. And I don't think Tampa Bay is that for them. I think Tampa will give them a really tough challenge, especially the way Vasi's been playing this season. I would be a little scared to play Tampa Bay, especially with the way Kucherov, Kucherov Gensel and point line has been, the depth that they've added. I think it'll be a scary matchup for Toronto. Ottawa for me is the best matchup for the Maple Leafs. I think they can beat Allmark. I mean, if they can get through Allmark, they can win because, like we said, like you said, a lot of these guys have not even played a playoff game. They haven't.
No.
They'll be in Toronto in their barn first playoff game. Like I know that we like to chirp their Leafs building in the regular season, but playoff time, any building is like electric. So especially for the Battle of Ontario, it's going to be a tough matchup for a lot of these guys. Yeah, I know they've got guys like Giroux and they've got guys like Allmark who've played in the playoffs, but man, I don't know. I don't see them pulling it off against the Maple Leafs. So if I'm the Leafs, I'm hoping the Senators catch the Tampa Bay Lightning or we win the division. I would personally just try and win every game if I'm a team, right? Wouldn't it be nice to win the division? You have a pretty chill first round. Take one of the wild card teams and go through. But yeah, I think that's enough said about the Leafs. Let's head over to the rest of the Eastern Conference. First, we'll talk about the Capitals. Looks like they're going to win the Eastern Conference by a landslide. They're at 102 or 104 points now, definitely way ahead of Florida and Toronto. They clinched a playoff spot. The first team to clinch a playoff spot. I love that time of year. We start seeing the clinching scenarios and the X right beside the names. It's that time. That means playoffs are coming. So the Capitals clinch a playoff spot. They're looking really good, but I want to do a hot take on them after. They did re-sign Jacob Chikrin to a really good contract, in my opinion. 8 times 7, he's making 72 million bucks. 8 years at 9 million AAV. He is their new number one defenseman that they basically just traded Nick Jensen in a pick for. So I'm really impressed with that. Chikrin is what, like Justin said just before we started recording, what a 20-goal season does for you, and he gets an absolute bag. What did you think of that trade? Or sorry, that signing, that extension?
I mean, it's reasonable. I mean, when John Carlson eventually, could retire soon, he's getting older up in age, so he's not getting any younger. You can just replace him with Jacob Chikrin. So I mean, it works out. You have it for another 8 years. 9 mil. I mean, can't really complain. Chikrin is an absolute unit. Like, there's nothing wrong with that deal. Like, could you imagine if like Morgan Riley was Jacob Chikrin? Like, oh my god, like that would have been absolutely
Like
sensational.
Chicker could
But
have
of
been a
course, we don't
leave.
have.
Chicker could have been a leave.
Trigger 100% could have been a Leaf, but we didn't actually put in the thought process into getting Chikrin. No, but for real, the Capitals did an absolutely outstanding job getting him in the first place for Nick Jansen in a pick, and then you just freaking extend him after this absolutely phenomenal season. So congratulations to him, and he's gonna be fighting for a Stanley Cup this year. So I mean, got the bag, and maybe potentially a Stanley Cup. So good job on Chikrin.
So let's discuss the wild card right now. Okay, in the Eastern Conference, I'm gonna list you the team. Okay, first of all, we're not talking about Buffalo. We're not gonna talk about Philly. We're not gonna talk about Pittsburgh, and we're certainly not gonna talk about the Bruins. The Bruins. Oh my goodness, they got absolutely destroyed by the Kings, 7-2, and then on Sunday, and then the day before they lost to the Sharks in the Shark Tank, 3-1.
Yeah, yeah.
Like no, they are so trash. They are so trash, and it is so over. They are looking for that draft pick, and they are not making playoffs. They are so garbage. So the teams we will talk about. Let's go through the list of 1 to 6. I've got 6 teams in this race right now. Currently holding the wild card one spot, the Ottawa Senators, 79 points with 13 games left. In wild card two, the Canadians, the Montreal Canadiens, are in a playoff spot. Oh my goodness, for the first time in a long time, they are finally in a playoff spot. 75 points with 13 games left. Right behind them, we got the New York Islanders with 74 points, 12 games remaining. Tied with them, the New York Rangers, 74 points, 11 games remaining. Just behind them, Columbus Blue Jackets, 73 points, 12 games
Huge
remaining.
win, yeah.
And right behind them is the Detroit Red Wings with 72 points, 12
Huge
games
win as
left.
well.
So the Red Wings got a huge win last night. The Detroit Red Wings are 3 points behind Montreal. Wow, we have a race between 6 teams because I don't think Ottawa's safe, especially they probably have their tricky game against the Sabres tonight. Oh man, if the Sens start to fumble, there's like they got to keep winning, then lock that first wildcard spot because man, we've got 5 teams right now competing, and we can include Ottawa in that race because no wildcard spot is safe in the Eastern Conference right now. Habs only 4 points back on Ottawa. A win tonight will see them 2 points just behind Ottawa for the first wildcard spot. What do we think right now of where we sat, where we're sitting? Because you predicted a couple months back that it would be Columbus and the Rangers. Do you still stand on those predictions for your wildcard?
No, the Jackets have absolutely crumbled. I don't really know as to what has happened.
They lost six in a
I
row.
honestly,
Before last night, they lost 6 in a row. They won in a shootout after a controversial call.
yeah, controversial. What did you think about that? Because I didn't think that was goalie interference. Kyle Palmieri was out of the blue paint at first.
Merzlikins was out like trying to grab him, man. He was trying to grab him first.
And then they called it. I was like, dude, first of all, Palmieri did nothing wrong. And two, Merzlikins is the one that's like touching Palmieri. Like, what are you talking about? But anyway, huge extra point there for Columbus. They've kind of struggled. I do honestly believe it's Marchenko. Remember, he broke his jaw a couple like last month. And you know when like you break your jaw, right? Like you can't really eat anything, and you kind of just have to drink like a lot. So I think that's really what's making this team crumble. I think because ever since then, Marchenko really hasn't been the same, and we've seen this in the past with other players. Like when they break their jaw, they don't really recover until the following season, right? Because that's when they actually have time to recover.
They did.
So I think
they did get Sean Monahan back last night, so he was back.
He did yesterday. He got 2 apples. So maybe Monahan could help the team back and fight and get some wins here. Red Wings got a huge win yesterday. They were it was like 5-1. They absolutely destroyed the Utah Hockey Club back in Utah
with barely any shots on net. By the way, I think they had under 15 shots.
They had like 2 goals on the first 4 shots. I was like, okay. I mean, consistency. I guess that wins games.
And efficiency.
So yeah, efficiency. Rangers, I don't really know what the Rangers are doing. They're oh my, it's really confusing. Like sometimes they'll put in that performance against what they did against the Flames last week, where they had like 15 shots throughout the whole game, which the Flames were on a second night of back-to-back, by the way, and the Rangers decided not to show up. But then they'll also have games where they beat the Canucks, it was like 6-3 or 5-3. So it's like, okay, so you could put up that, but you can't do it consistently.
They're so inconsistent at the worst time possible. This is not the time to be winning a game, losing a game, winning 2, losing 2. This is not the time for that.
And the Islanders have, honestly, I'm going to be honest, they've just spawned out of nowhere. Because I'm telling you right now, last month, I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. I thought, okay, this team is dead in the water. But all of a sudden, they've resurrected, and now they're tied on point. Like they're in there for the wild card. It's like, dude, where did they just randomly come from? So they're winning games. They got hot at the right time, and all of a sudden they could even make second wild card. And who knows? They play lose first round, but we'll see, right? Oh no, sorry, Washington first round. But I don't know. So honestly, I don't know who's gonna make.
Wait,
honestly,
what about the play of these guys up here?
Yeah. Okay. Montreal. Yeah, okay. Montreal has also been one of the hottest teams since the Four Nations. I think they've only lost 3 games since the Four Nations.
How inspiring was that comeback against the Avalanche the other night?
That was actually pretty insane. They were down 4-1 in the third, and they scored 3 goals in 6 minutes in the final 10 minutes, and then they lost a shootout with a stupid shootout, whatever. But dude, that was a huge point, by the way. That was absolutely massive to come from behind 4-1. Just imagine if they actually got the winner in OT. Oh my goodness gracious! But yeah, dude, it was the Habs are cooking right now. Dude, with the Habs being there, that even makes it even more wow. I don't know what's gonna happen now, because you have this young upcoming team in the Habs. You have this Islanders team that's whatever. You have the Rangers, who have been mediocre all season but are still in the mix, so you can't really count them out. They can still make the playoffs, which they're not a team you want to see in the playoffs. And you have the Jackets, who are there, I guess, and the Red Wings, who are also there. So there's really no clear-cut favorite. That's the who gonna make it. This is the exciting.
Who do you predict to make it? Do you think the Sens make playoffs still? Do you think they hold down that wild card spot, or is it just gonna be a fight for wild card too?
Odd. I think with the point differential now,
It's 4 points
I
right
think they're
now. They're 4 points behind the ahead
4
of
points.
Montreal. So if a
Oh,
win,
it's actually not that bad.
it's not bad.
Points,
If the Sens lose tonight and the Habs win, it's literally a game difference.
points.
And they play each other once more in the season.
Yeah, so that could be a huge swing. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. Something about the Islanders. The Islanders just have too much like veteran and like experience in that team. I just think that they might sneak in there.
Uh,
I really don't. I really don't want to see them. I don't want to see them, but I think they just have too much experience. Like they made the playoffs how many years in a row now? I just think you know what, like they're gonna somehow just squeak in there by like a point, and it's like, dude, nobody wants to see you guys. Like you guys are boring, bro. Um, nobody sends like I don't know, man. I, the Habs, like if they could continue this, like again, they're a young, upcoming, fun team that are just playing with vibes right now. You know, like and vibes can carry on. You know, chemistry's there. They're cooking now, getting hot at the right time. It's really hard to predict, right? Because teams can just get hot like all of a sudden. So
my ideal playoff, like the teams that would make it would be Montreal and the Rangers. That would be two OG6 teams getting into the mix. I think that would be awesome. It could be Toronto, could be Montreal, Florida first round, Montreal, Toronto first round. We could see the Rangers versus the Capitals first round. Rangers versus Panthers first round if they get the first wild card. Like to me, the other teams don't really like. I don't see like entertaining matchups. Like nobody wants to see the Islanders play the Florida Panthers in the first round. Nobody wants to see the Islanders play the Washington Capitals in the first round. Nobody wants to see the Blue Jackets play the Florida Panthers first round. You know, maybe Detroit. I could see Detroit, but like realistically, I think Montreal and the Rangers are the big money grabbers. I mean, I guess Ottawa with the Battle of Ontario and maybe against Florida, but still. Who do I think is going to make it? I mean, I'm gonna say it. I don't like to say it, but I think Ottawa's probably going to take that first wildcard spot. I don't see them giving it up, especially with how close we are to the playoffs. Oh man, wildcard two. I don't know. I really don't know because I want to say my heart says Montreal, especially because I got that big sign over there, and I do like the Rangers
yeah.
as well as you can see. But man, oof, the way the Rangers are playing, man, it's not looking like they're going to make it in my opinion. They don't
Yeah.
look they don't they're losing games that they shouldn't be losing. Like they played two teams last week that were on second half of back-to-backs with travel and they lost those games by one goal. Like those are games you have to take advantage of. Teams coming off travel, second half of a back-to-back, you have to beat them at MSG. Not, remind you, they weren't on the road. They were in their home barn and they couldn't win those games. So I think the Rangers are probably toast if like who do they I think they play tonight, but I
Yeah, they play the Kings in
oh so
LA.
they're on their California road swing. So another tough game tonight against a really good LA Kings team, the best team on home ice by the way in the NHL. So if the Rangers go 1 for 2, 1 for 3 on this road trip, call it a night. I don't think they're gonna come back and make it. The Red Wings, I don't think they're that great. Like you're not winning a playoff match with Peter Mrazek as your goalie. Like it's just not happening. Like there's just no shot. The Blue Jackets are too hurt. Like you said, Marchenko's play hasn't been great. I just don't think they're ready yet. They're right there, but I don't think they're playoff ready yet. The Islanders, it's literally. I think it's going to be between the Habs and the Islanders. Montreal's going to ride the hot hand with the way they've been playing. Right off Montembeau's play, right off Hudson's play, the Slavkovsky, Suzuki, Caulfield line. They're going to ride off of that, and maybe they'll get in. But it might, like you said, it could be the Islanders too. I don't know, man. I think it'll be between the Habs and the Islanders for that wild card spot. It's going to be really
I
close.
don't know. In those scenarios, you have to take experience
Yeah,
over like
that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Like I really don't want to put the Islanders over my Habs, but like that could be the scenario where they have the goalies that played in the playoffs for multiple years. They have the guys, man. They have the veteranship, like you said.
nobody likes the Islanders. Again, that's another team, bro. I swear, I have no fans. Nobody likes the
I
Islanders,
have
bro. Like,
and going back to my hot take, I have a feeling whoever gets that second wild card spot might take out the Capitals in the first round.
okay,
I have a f- I because think about it. I feel like a lot of these matches could be tricky for the Capitals. Like,
it's tricky.
do we
Yeah,
think the Capitals are like a legit contender because you went from they go from a team that's literally fighting in the final game with an empty netter from like Torts pulling the goalie last year to clinch a spot to now dominating the NHL, potentially winning the President's Trophy and leapfrogging your conference by like almost 10 points. Is this team actually legit? I have a feeling like this wildcard two team is gonna give them a run for their money in the first round.
No, I think this Capitals team is legit. Again, dude, they're getting scored from everywhere, bro. Even defense. Again, and they have good defenders that are playing good defense. Like, remember last year's New York team, like, were they really getting much goal scoring from their offense? No, from their defense? Not really. This Capitals team is going insane with their defensive production, and it's like, dude, that's the difference right there. And this Capitals team is scary good. Like, they have depth scoring, they have your top six scoring, you have your defender scoring, you have good goaltending, and dude, this Capitals team, they're a problem. They are honestly a problem. Protas has taken a big step.
Wow!
All of a sudden, just appearing out of nowhere. Geez, like, bro, are you for real?
It's
like, dude,
it's whatever's in that Russian food that they were eating over there. Like Ovi consumed that over the years, and look at Alexei Protas now. He's just rubbing off of Ovi's whatever the hell he's eating. Maybe it's that Subway order of a turkey sandwich with a hot Cheetos in a Coke. But it's rubbing off on guys like Protas, and he's having a career year. He's got, I think, like he's top 5 in even strength points. I don't think he plays either power play unit on the Capitals, and he is still like at a ridiculous like pace, and it's insane to think about. But
20 goals, like, dude,
I know, right? For a guy that you don't even like think like as a player, like who? Alexei Pukma? Like, exactly. So that just goes to show the depth on the Capitals. But I don't know, man. I have a feeling like they could lose in the first round. I've seen scenarios like with the Tampa Bay Lightning not that long ago, right? I've seen teams in the first round lose, like teams that dominated in the regular season lose in the first round. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But I really hope I would love to see a Canadiens-Washington matchup in the first round. That would be pretty sick. That would be pretty sick. That would be pretty sick. But yeah, 12 to 13 games left. With these next couple of weeks ahead of us. Oh man, it's gonna be tough. We have 2 games in hand on the Rangers, 1 game in hand on the Islanders and Jackets, and the Red Wings. Man, tonight's game against the Blues. 2 teams in each conference fighting for a wild card spot. Hopefully that goes to overtime. They should just make an agreement beforehand that we go to overtime, and then make the best men win. So at least they both get a point. But and then if they ever meet, they'll meet in the Stanley Cup final. So there you go. Exactly. That's perfect. But oh man, let's move on to the West, the Western Conference, and we'll wrap it up. My notes here. The Avs and Stars is looking to be very likely as a playoff series. The Stars shut out the Minnesota Wild last night, 3-0. Huge win. And it looks like the Avs are going to play the Stars in the first round based off of where the standings are. Jets are probably taking the division. With the way the Stars just manhandled the Minnesota Wild last night, it doesn't look like Minnesota's going to catch up. But man, Stars, Avs first round, 2 Stanley Cup contenders probably meeting in the first round. Man, do we one of these teams is going to get knocked out, and it's going to suck because this could be a conference final right there. What do you think? Yeah. What do you think of an Avs Stars first round matchup? And Gabriel Landeskog could be back for that series, which would be huge for the Avalanche. But what do you think?
Yeah, that would be absolutely huge. I think, dude, this is one of the more anticipated matchups in our first round of matchups in the NHL. I think, dude, like Mikko Rantanen, playing against his former squad. Yeah, sure, he hasn't been all that great since being traded, but I mean, dude, like players against their former teams, like we all know the story of that, right? Like always scoring against their former teams, right? So, dude, that would be absolutely insane. You kind of have to feel bad for one of these clubs though, because then it's like, okay, like y'all really could have made the Stanley Cup final. I say, bro, but like y'all face up against the Avs, but y'all face up against Stars. It's like, dude, are we for real? But yeah, bro, it's crazy, bro.
What do you think?
This is so hard to predict. This is so hard. Like
that has to go. That has to go 7. That has to go 7 games.
Yeah. Wow. Imagine going 7 and Mikko Rantanen scores the winner. That would just be insane.
In Ball Arena, maybe. Oh
I
God,
would
we
just
don't even know if home ice is a lock for the Stars yet, but man, that would be insane. Oh,
insane.
that would be. I
I don't
think
know.
that would be matchup of the playoffs.
Yeah. I think 100% it would be match of the playoffs. I don't really know as to who would win this. I kind of have to go with the Avs. I mean, just with all the
That's because
additions,
you love McKinnon also.
it's yeah, a little bit, but like, bro, you just got to be, like, come on, like, look at all the additions they made. You got the best player in the league, Kale McCarr. It's like, dude, Brock Nelson, Nichushkin, Druin, Lehkonen. You could just go on and on and on. It's like, dude, come on.
But
Yes, dude, don't get me wrong. The
the
Stars
Stars
is
have a
very
good team
good.
too. Yeah.
Stars are very good, very good. But it's like, bro, Ball Arena, they're gonna be rocking. McKinnon gonna be rocking. It's like, oh, you know, it's so hard to see one of these teams lose in the first round. That's why, dude. I hope the Stars catch the Jets, and then we just have Jets as first round. Because, bro, I know for a fact the Avs would win that, bro. Like, somebody gotta throw their whole rent pay, their rent money on.
We're gonna throw a bet on that 100% if that's the first round matchup.
Oh,
100%. We will be there
oh
for
my
that.
god, that series, bro.
Oh
Come
man.
on, stop.
Let's head over to the. I mean, looks like the Jets are going to win the division, so not much to really talk about. They have a chance to clinch
Oh,
it.
hold on. The Stars only 6 points back with the game in hand, so it's not. Hold on.
It's not out of question. The Jets have an opportunity to clinch a playoff spot tonight. Either I think the Blues. I think if they win tonight, or if the Blues lose to the Canadians in regulation. So as long as St. Louis doesn't get a point, it looks like they'll clinch. So clinching scenario there. Let's head over to the Pacific Division right now. It looks like Vegas. I mean, the Kings could come for that division spot, which I kind of want to see. I would love to see that. But right now, the Vegas Golden Knights are holding that first spot with 91 points. Kings and Oilers tied on 87. No McDavid and no Draisaitl for a week. It was announced last week that they would be out. But they do win pretty big against who was it? Was it Utah or was it Seattle? The Kraken. Utah and Seattle are like the same fucking team, I swear. But yeah, big win there. Nugent Hopkins Hattie. I was literally debating on picking him up in fantasy, but I didn't trust the Oilers without their best players, and the Kings, man, like the Oilers. This is the year if these guys meet in the first round for the fourth year in a row, based off this fucking wild card playoff format. I think this is the year the Kings finally beat the Oilers. Especially if they get home ice advantage as well in the first round. They have the best home record in the NHL. They have the best home ice power play. They have the best home ice record, points percentage. It's like 800, like 66%. Oh my goodness, man. They are so good in their barn, which is how teams should be playing in their barn. It's home. That's why they call it home ice advantage for a reason. But for some reason, there's teams in the NHL that rather play better on the road, which makes no sense because of the pressure. Not for LA, not for Quentin Byfield, how all get putting up career numbers, not for Kevin Fiala, not for Anze Kopitar at 39 years old. He has been insane. And let's not forget, after the talks of, trading Dubois for Kemper, we don't know how Kemper's going to be. This guy has been really solid for these guys all year. One of the best goalies in that division by far. And the Kings, man, don't even count them out for the division. People always consider them as sleepers for the Stanley Cup. These guys could be contenders if they win the division, man. Like, they look insane, and I think they'd take out the Oilers in, 6 games this year if they were to meet in the first round. I just think this team is way better and way better built for the playoffs than this current Edmonton Oilers team. What do you think of, if we were going to see Kings and Oilers in the first round?
The Kings are just overall better team. I think their goaltending is much better. I think their defense is much better. I think, honestly, their offense. Don't sleep on the Kings' offense. The Kings can score goals for fun. And now with the injuries to Draisaitl and McDavid, we don't really know how healthy they are. This Kings team's scary good, man. And I'm worried for the Leafs to go play the LA Kings later on this week because that's going to be tricky. But, dude, this Edmonton team, again, I said this a couple weeks ago, nobody fears this Edmonton team anymore, honestly. Because, bro, teams know, dude, you can shoot from anywhere and Skinner's going to let that shit in, bro. That should be for real. And, bro, the defense, bro, you can skate by them and Bouchard ain't doing nothing anyway. So, dude, he's not going to body you off the puck. He's not going to do anything defensively. So, it's dude, they're pretty much already down a defenseman anyway when Bouchard's on the ice. So, you've already seen it happen multiple times this season. So, it doesn't matter. This King team's scary good. They could win the division. I think winning the division would be better for them.
Meeting Calgary, Utah, or Vancouver in the first round.
think it will because as much as like I dislike the Edmonton Oilers and what I just said, you're still playing against McDavid and Draisaitl. Like let's just be
You're
for real,
still it's
right?
you know it's better for the fucking fans because I don't want to see Edmonton LA first round again. Oh my goodness, these like that they built a rivalry based on this stupid playoff format. They
Yeah,
played each other. This is
and like
like the fourth since you and I graduated high school. They've been playing in the playoffs. Like that's been the first round matchup since high school.
I known you for that long. God damn, man,
Maybe
already.
even like grade 9, 10, man. Like it's been that long. We were talking about the Leafs losing to the freaking Jackets in the bubble on PlayStation, like right here.
Oh
Like I was in my
yeah, yeah,
room
yeah.
playing, and all I hear is Justin like crying because they lost. And that's how long the Kings have been playing the Oilers for. It's like, man, I'm so sick of this stupid matchup. A Vegas Edmonton first round. Vegas wins. Vegas wins. Vegas
Oh,
wins. Vegas in five. Yeah, I was gonna say Vegas absolutely wipes the floor with the Oilers. Oh my goodness, I don't care. Aiden Hill, I love that deal that he signed. Jack Eichel. I mean, where? I mean, we always talked about Matthews as one timer, man. It looks like Matthews just stopped doing that and passed it over to Eichel because Eichel against the Lightning just popping shots against
I,
Vasi, like who's competing for the Vesna. Like, what are we talking about here? The depth Hurdle has been on a tear as well. Oh my goodness, he is injured, but before
yeah,
like
at least.
he's been insane. But I think it's nothing too serious.
He scored 2 hat tricks in 1 month.
Like
How does that happen? Like, dude,
he's been insane. So I mean, oh, if we're gonna see how that goes. But the Kings have beaten Vegas the last two beatings in Vegas and in LA. So don't be surprised if the LA Kings win that division. And I think that would be great for us as fans because I don't want to see LA Edmonton. And yeah, it's not looking good for Edmonton, I think, in these playoffs, man, especially in the first two rounds. Even if you do get past the Kings, you still got probably Vegas. You still like
yeah,
you'll probably have Vegas again. And last time those two met in the playoffs, the Golden Knights won in six. And as a team like Edmonton looking to, try and do what they did last year and get to the Stanley Cup final, I think this year's team, man, I don't know if they can do it. I really don't know if they can do it.
no. I don't think so. Injury problems, defense, goaltending. It's just the same. It's just the same repetitive things every single year. And it's like, dude, like, can't you clearly see that there's a clear number one issue? And I guess management just doesn't see it. So well, another season lost for the Edmonton Oilers. So
Well,
so
management spoke on the general manager spoke on hockey. I think after hours on Sportsnet, and they did say like about McDavid's extension, and they're not worried, even though McDavid, they don't want to talk about doing anything during the season. He said that there's no problems. They don't think there's going to be a problem extending him. But if they do lose in the first round, don't you think that changes a little bit? 100%.
I think that does. Why wouldn't it? I mean, he's trying to win something. I mean, he felt winning. He felt like he could win something when he won the Four Nations, right? Like he felt that winning moment. So it's like he would want to feel that again when hoisting the Stanley Cup. So and honestly, I hope he knows because as much as I'm a fan of McDavid, but as of McSell, but I hope he knows that dude, you're not gonna win with Edmonton, bro. Like let's just be for real. Like, we all know this. Like they have not fixed the one certain issue, and you got to see it yourself, bro. Like you are the captain for a reason. Like you're the captain. You gotta get a plan view and see as to what is the number one issue. And he knows what the issue is. Obviously, he's not going to speak about it. But come on, he knows.
He's
Not
smarter than
slow.
that. He's not.
So
He's smarter than that. Exactly. So that'll be interesting in the Pacific Division. Let's move to the wild card race. Five teams currently fighting. Minnesota looks to be locking down that wild card one spot, so I'm not going to count them. I think they'll be able to they'll be able to take that spot. A team, so I would say four teams. The who do I write there? The Canucks, the Flames, who are swept that New York road trip by the way, beating the Rangers, Islanders, and Devils. So that was interesting to see. Still not in the playoffs yet because of a team like the St. Louis Blues, the hottest team since Four Nations. 8 wins, 1 loss, 1 overtime loss. 8-1-1 in their last 10 games. They are hot. They are hot.
yeah,
They are hot. They are scorching right now. They are looking to come back and make playoffs after they were way out of it not that long ago. Don Montgomery, Jim Montgomery, the current coach, has got them playing amazing. Dylan Holloway playing great. Philip Broberg, two guys at Edmonton, just let walk, just walk because of offer sheets. They're having career years over in St. Louis. The team is looking really good. Bennington has been playing amazing. The defense, they're getting scoring from Justin Falk. A lot of the scoring is coming from his end. The Blues are humming right now, and they look to be like that team that makes that wildcard spot. And if they make it, I think they give Winnipeg a problem. I think they give them a real problem in the first round if they were to meet. With the Flames and Canucks also fighting for a playoff spot, what do you think is going to happen? Do you who do you see making the playoffs?
I think just the way the Blues are playing, I think they're a better team than the Flames. I think Vancouver got a huge comeback win yesterday. It was absolutely massive against the mediocre Devils to keep them. Now, they're only 3 points back with the game in hand, so we'll see. But I think, dude, the Blues, again, these teams get hot at the right time. And the Blues are getting hot at the right time. As what you said, they're absolutely humming right now. I think, no Parayko, no problem. Justin Falk and Cam Fowler have just stepped in and, they've done their job. Guys are getting hot. Kyrie's been on fire. Holloway's been on fire. Robert Thomas, your usual suspects on the St. Louis Blues. And dude, and this is what Binner does. Binner gets a lot of slack for his play, but dude, when you need him most, he's there, man. Like we've seen it.
Four Nations, even for Team Canada, like Four Nations, right there, perfect example.
Honestly, against Winnipeg, Binner, like when you need him most,
that's what I'm saying.
Binner could give St. Louis problems, and I'm all here for again, Winnipeg. Like I understand, you can say that they're good and all, but dude, this St. Louis Blues team is sneakily good. Their goaltending's good. I think maybe Parayko, if he's back, for the Blues, that would be a huge boost for them. Even their offense is slept on really. Like they got good players on that offense.
They got weapons.
They have shooters. So they got snipers out there. So yeah, dude, St. Louis. Honestly, St. Louis beating Winnipeg, that would be absolutely sensational. I would be rooting for the Blues all day, every day. But yeah, bro, and plus, honestly, I would love to see the Blues over Vancouver and Calgary. So I don't know, something about the Blues atmosphere in playoffs, like in Missouri. I don't know, it's just really cool to see. So it's like, let's go St. Louis, bro. I hope St. Louis makes this. I hope St. Louis makes this.
Yeah.
And I hope they beat the Jets. Oh my God, come on, St. Louis, do this.
With the way they're playing, it looks like that'll happen. Now, we talked about the matchup tonight against the Habs, two of the hottest teams playing in the league. It's going to be that's a must-watch game and a must-win game for both teams. So we're going to see what happens there. But I think that will wrap up this episode of the Edgy Sports Podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, tell all your friends. We'll probably be back next week, maybe next Tuesday, and hopefully we'll talk about, we'll see where we're at in a week with the wild card race, because teams could just be in and then they're out, and then they're back in and then they're out. Like we don't know how it's gonna be, but it's playoff atmosphere hockey. It's the best kind of hockey, and we are so here for it. We are so ready to start the 2025 NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. Anything to add before we sign off?
Anything to add?
How hype are you for playoffs?
I'm super hyped, bro. I'm super hyped about that. I'm super hyped about our fantasy hockey playoffs. That's super hype. We got an intense final week, final spot up for grabs for our playoffs, including you. You are part of that.
I am.
So that is absolutely. Anything else? Anything off topic? No, Blue Jays start the season this year. This week, they play Thursday at 2 p.m. against the Baltimore Orioles in Toronto. Yeah, it's a really weird start time. I don't really understand why, but that's cool. No Vladdy hasn't re-signed, so that's absolutely tremendous. Blue Jay season is kind of all lost already. The season hasn't even started, and TFC still trash. Raptors still trash. And Ecuador closing in on a World Cup appearance. Just to inform you, Argentina have already qualified. They qualified just now. In an hour and a half, Ecuador play.
So we'll see. So Justin's very excited for that. So we will.
No.
World Cup is next year, so we're getting there. We got to go see a game. But until next week, hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your week, your work week, school week, whatever. We will see you guys next week, and enjoy the NHL games. Take care and peace.